This is the new Evil Wreckoning. It has been completely redesigned from the ground up. It's still a long travel 2.9er, but now with a modern geometry that will give you godlike abilities. At least that's Evil's claim. Starting from the back, you have the new Super Boost spacing. That means it takes a 12 by 157 rear hub. This allows for a super short 430mm rear end. The integrated frame protection on this bike has also been improved, and the sound mounts do an excellent job. The chain guide has been redesigned, and you can still mount a lower guard on ISCG05 lower tabs. The Super Boost spacing also allowed Evil to increase the width of the main pivot, adding stiffness and durability, and now it fits up to a 2.5-inch rear tire. It sticks with the tried and true threaded bottom bracket, then ups the ante with a trunnion coil shock, stock on all builds, that provides 166mm of travel. The seat tube has been shrunk to accommodate 30.9 seat posts, which opens up the bike for more options without using a shim. Cables are now routed internally and guided for a clean and easy look, and the head tube remains the ever-popular tapered design. The bike I am riding also comes equipped with the RockShox new Zap fork. I can't complain about anything so far. So those are the frame upgrades, but now let's talk geo. I'm riding a size large with a 170mm Zeb set up in the low setting. I'm not going to go too in depth, but here are the numbers people tend to care about. Yeah, it got longer and slacker. The head tube has been slackened by 1.5 degrees to 64.6, and the reach has increased a whopping 23mm to a very current 475mm. Finally, the effective seat tube angle is steepened to 76.3 degrees. These numbers aren't as extreme as some bikes, but on the trail they work. Another note when comparing the Wreckoning to other bikes in its class is that at 460mm, the seat tube is 30mm longer than both the Transition Sentinel and Santa Cruz Mega Tire, which means some riders will not be able to run as long of a dropper seat post. As such, Evil specs a 180mm seat post as opposed to the 210 that came on the Transition, which is an outlier in this. Santa Cruz, Trek, and Specialized are all speccing 170mm for a size large. I plan on playing with the extra low setting, which will put the numbers a bit closer to the Transition Sentinel for the head tube and bottom bracket height, but will undoubtedly have a negative impact on the climb. Climbing on the new Wreckoning is comfortable and efficient. The coil shock has enough support, and generally I left it wide open. With the increased front center, the climbing position is neutral and traction was never a problem. The Wreckoning still lacks the enthusiasm to race to the top that can be found in shorter travel bikes, but in truth, it doesn't slow you down like some bikes in the category. It is still 2 pounds lighter than my Santa Cruz Mega Tire was, and only a pound heavier than the new Transition Sentinel I just reviewed, so that likely plays into it.
All right, let's see how it goes.
Make no mistakes, the descents are where this bike comes to life. Whether it's hucking a flat or letting it rip into the jankiest section of trail with reckless abandon, this bike eats it up. You can find traction even on the greasiest trails.
All right, well, the trail is a bit greasier than we thought it was going to be, but I gotta say, this thing descends with no problems. So much traction. And it really is much stiffer than my last bike. It doesn't mind getting dropped in these holes and then slammed on. Woo! So good.
We touched on super short chainstays earlier. There is a trend amongst mountain bike manufacturers of increased chainstay length, or size-specific chainstays. I see the reasoning behind it, but Evil bucks this trend. For your do-everything trail bikes and dedicated race bikes, it makes perfect sense. But for the freeride machine that is the Evil Wreckoning, the short chainstays keep the bike nimble. They make jumping even easier for such a long bike, and if you plan on going past whips to full spins, then the short rear end can help, not to mention the inherent strength it offers.
And now for the fun part, the downhill. Really enjoying how planted this bike feels. Coils always do a great job of hugging the ground.
So who is this bike for? I can confidently say that if you like to push your limits and are not sure when to stop, this bike is for you. The frame stiffness and bottomless feel from the suspension allow for mistakes. If you send it a bit too far or miss your line, the new Evil Wreckoning has got your back. It can help you ride those mistakes out rather than sending you flying. And while I have pushed my limits, I haven't gotten close to those of the Wreckoning. The Delta suspension gives you that nimble and playful feel you expect, but when necessary, this bike becomes the wrecking ball you need.
Whoa!
Whether it's the steepest lines, jumps, or all-out speed you are looking for, this bike has something for you. If carving freeride lines in open faces or holding on through tight chutes is your thing, then the Wreckoning delivers. If you are looking for fest-sized jumps, it's got you. Finally, if you want the confidence for the gnarliest downhills, then this really is the leg-powered DH legend Evil claims. Please like and subscribe so I can keep chasing friends around and riding new bikes. And if you haven't, please check out my other videos of local trails and my review of the Transition Sentinel version 2.